Good evening, everyone. Welcome to FGM eCast presenting the ANZCAR Truck Series, and tonight we are at Knoxville for some running on the dirt. It is going to be one hell of an evening of racing. We've got a varied format here with a couple of heat races coming out of qualifying before the feature race, so a little bit of a change for the trucks. But as usual, one thing that doesn't change, I am joined by Carl Withy back in the booth for another week. Carl on FGM eCast, looking forward to this one.
Yeah, hey Stuart, absolutely looking forward to this one here at Knoxville Sprint Track. The Knoxville Raceway, of course, very, very small circuit, and as you've probably noticed, a very dirty track as well. We are running on dirt tonight, of course, so it's something very different for these guys to master.
Have a go at that, son. We just jumped on board quickly with Michael Skurlock. A new track for me, and another part of the journey, my journey through everything that is oval. That sun is absolutely blinding at this time of night as Big Mick Skurlock here just manhandling the 350 Crank Esports truck around Knoxville, and you can just see it there, blinded by the light. A line from a very famous song, of course, but they're going to have to make themselves known. Probably known's not the right word, but they've got to make sure that they get things nice and straight and keep things moving here. You don't want to get bogged down, and they're going to have to do that whilst navigating the other competitors during the heats.
Yeah, it's going to be very tricky with that sun. Luckily it's just about setting, so once the races kick off, we should just be getting into that point where the sun's no longer in the driver's eyes. But in qualifying, they might just be catching that just as they are going through the corners, and that's going to be very, very bright when you're heading into trying to work out exactly which corners we are on for the sun. I think it's 3 and 4, I think, just those final two corners, and it is just so very bright there. It's just almost blinding, and you can really get caught out by that because it just catches your eye and draws your attention away from the actual racetrack.
Yeah, well, I'm not too sure what to expect here. We have done one other dirt race on the broadcast in the past, which of course was Bristol, we were talking about before the race meeting, but that was in the Cup, so this one here is going to be a little bit different again. I imagine the Utes are a little bit easier to flick the tail out on than, probably not even than the Cup cars actually, so just a different beast to drive. Yeah,
it's a very different car to drive on dirt. It's a little bit easier, I would say, than the Cup car, just because you don't have quite as much power, but you've got a little bit less weight over the rear axle as well, so the car does like to get a little bit spinny. It's very hard to get it absolutely right there. You really need to get back end stepping out, and you need to master it as well. You can sort of use that little bit of cushioning up the top of the track. You'll see the drivers just skirting their way up towards the barriers, sometimes just using that little bit of soft dust to bounce the car off a little bit. But you've got to be careful of the infield, as we see Christopher Finley getting caught out there. If you get on that infield, there is a large bump there, and it's going to flip you up in the air, and all of a sudden that is that for your night.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for the drivers to get out of the way if they do have that spin as well. Of course, you just see there Christopher Finlay battling away with that one, but it is not like what we normally see with the cars generally run down to the inside, of course, when they do have an incident because of the track banking. So I'm expecting, unfortunately, a few cautions tonight. I think that's why we've gone with the heat format, so that we can try and get through a little bit of cleaner racing. Was that the main reason for the decision?
I would imagine so, yeah. Just trying to get the early aggression out of it in the heats, and just get people settled in a little bit as well. Also let time pass as well, just let it get a little bit darker so the lights can get on, things like that, and just get hopefully a little bit less chaos out there. That's the main thing.
We just jumped on board here with Danny G, and the Mitch Motorsport boys last week had an absolute flyer in the ANZCAR series. They actually did do the triple one. They won all three events with the trucks, the Thunder Series and the Cup. They were just shy of doing the triple double with a first and third in the Cup Series. So a really, really strong performance from them starting out, particularly season 2, race 1 of the trucks, along with race 1 season of the Thunder as well. So we'll keep an eye on them tonight and see how they get on at something of a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah, look, Mitch's always been strong. The Mitch Motorsport team have got 4 very strong drivers with them. Josh Micklemore, he did quite well last time we took the trucks out on the dirt track at Eldora. I think he finished in top 3 in that race. It was a very difficult place to go on. It was sort of the first time we took the trucks out on the dirt in the ANZCAR series, so a very difficult race to run. It was a very tricky situation. Knoxville was a little bit different of a circuit as well. It's a little bit tighter than Eldora. So there are always little differences that come in, but Mitch are going to be hoping to get another good finish tonight, try and keep a good start to this sort of second leg of the season for them, so to say, here, of course, in the trucks, the Thunder and the Cup series.
Absolutely. So just winding down to the tail end of practice here, you can see there's just about a minute to go before we head into qualifying, which will then decide our 2 heats for the start of this evening's proceedings. And we just quickly want to jump on and thank AJ Insurance Services for their ongoing support of our channel. If you're after an insurance broker, Joe Daly and the team there at AJ Insurance Services are the place to go. They will certainly look after you, can help you with business needs, doing risk assessments and the like, as well as personal insurance as well. So get in contact with Joe Daly and the team, AJ Insurance Services, and we thank them again for their ongoing support of the stream. And you'll get to see their cars, their livery cars, tomorrow night in the Thunder Series as well.
As always, a big thank you to them for all the support and helping us keep the streams and broadcasts going for all of you to watch, of course, and a big thank you to everybody that is joining us tonight and joining us in the future, of course, on the replay. We appreciate all the support there. It really helps the channel out, and if you're not subscribed, a little subscription can absolutely help us out as well. It just helps the old algorithm a little bit. But that's the end of practice session. Murray House setting a very good time, as well as Dave Douglas. Watch out for Dave, of course, the commentator come driver. So Dave back in the trucks again this week. He had some good performances in dirt a couple of weeks ago in a couple of other series. So he's one of those drivers that can put out a good time. One of the things I'd want to mention, actually, just on the exit off pit lane as you're coming out, when you're actually not going very fast in these vehicles, they are really tricky to drive. They really throw you off a little bit. And the bumps on the dirt circuit, they can absolutely just really throw you off and cause you to spin quite easily.
As usual here on board with the first out of pit lane tonight, it's Gary Wellman in the 45 Simboys Racing entry, and he's going to take us for a very quick 2 laps around here. It's limited to 2 laps, is it?
Yeah, just the 2 laps in qualifying.
He's going to be done in the flick of a whistle. He's already through first lap here, so we might do the talk through tonight, Carl. I don't think there's too many corners to talk through here. They're all very similar in nature, but he's about to get through across the line, complete his second lap once he gets round turn 2 or turns 3 and 4, depending on how you want to look at it, and he'll bring that one across the line and finish with a 21.56 as his fastest lap, and the times start to roll in now. I'm going to jump on board with Dave Douglas, if I can catch him in the moving train, as he gets into his second lap.
Yeah, it's tricky here. So obviously just kicking that tail out through the corners, that's the important thing. That just gets you that little bit of extra speed. You don't want to go too wild with the drifting. You want to get the power back underway and almost just square off the corner. So you see here Dave just taking a beautiful line, just keeping that car almost straight on, just keeps it on line, keeps it almost going straight through the corner, setting some relatively good times. Not the top times tonight. Dave up there in... They finish up in 14th at the moment.
On board now with Jason Martin as he gets through his second flying lap. He's currently sitting down at 21st. A little bit lower than we're probably expecting to see from Jason. Last week's race winner in one of the races. In fact, I think he won the Cup Wet race last week. And very happy to do so as he comes through. 21.72, jumps into 15th position. And at this stage, we've got James Robbie out on track. We'll jump on board with him. The rest of the field, bar 3 drivers, James Robbie, Jake Maloney, and Tristan Koch, have all completed their flying laps. So with a couple of minutes to go, a little bit limited for the people there. Not sure, James Robbie joining us from New Zealand, is he?
I believe James is, but he's also a bit of a dirt sort of specialist. He's quite good. He's quite handy on dirt, James. So he's one of those drivers that will probably have a good night tonight. So as he gets up into third place straight away there with that first lap, but he's one of those drivers that has a lot of dirt experience and can really hustle these cars on this loose grip surface. So expect a good night for him tonight. See how we can go with this second lap. Will it be faster? We'll soon find out. As not quite stays in third position for James Robbie. Jacob Burke up in first at the moment. A really fast lap from him at 21.325. So very good lap from Jacob Burke. Nathan Clark in second with James Robbie in third at the moment.
I think that's all she wrote. Tristan not out on track, so we've got just over a minute to go. And this variation is going to be quite the night for us to have a look at. So we'll bring the grid up for you in a few minutes once that's all finalised and we tick over into the first of our two heats. Do you want to just run us through how the heats work, Carl?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me this one. I hate heat racing. So heat racing's a little bit different, of course, from your average racing. You're competing in, effectively, it's sort of a couple of almost qualifying races, you can call it. They're the initial races of the stages. So your first heat race, generally, depending on the series and the style of it, because I didn't get all the details tonight, which is always fun. With heat racing, you can be Group 1 setting the inside line, Group 2 setting the outside line, things like that. I think tonight, because we're running the free heat series, I think it's just going to be a sort of... I'm not entirely sure, actually. I can't remember what they're doing tonight, because I didn't have that part on my list of things. So usually it would be for the qualifying aspect.
Well, we'll wing it and we'll see what comes of it. But obviously there's going to be two heats, faster, slower. And then a group of those will proceed into the feature race. I would presume, going off my limited knowledge of dirt. So we do have now 13 drivers about to jump out on track for this 10-lap sprint. So I'll bring that up on the screen for you now.
I think what we're doing tonight is the actual heat race where we basically, the top set of drivers in the heat will actually get through. So you're basically qualifying to get into the race. From what I can see, it's the 15, I think. So it will be a little bit thrown out with that. So Jacob Burke will be on pole for Group 1, Nathan Clark on pole for Group 2, and James Robbie on pole for Group 3.
And it is Jacob Burke, Justin Howe, we've got Matty Raymond, Ed Foster, Aaron Hutton, Jason Martin, Jaden Russell, Ruben Phelps, Josh Micklemore, Steve Williams, Ryan Wooden, and Mirko Doutnak in this first grouping, with Nathan Rawlock also in this group. So let's get down to the action and have a look at how this one pans out.
Yeah, this should be a fun race. These are some very fast drivers. Jacob Burke has looked quick all night long out there, so this is going to be an interesting one for him. One of the newer drivers as well to the ANZCAR series, so he's going to hope to get a good start here. You see a lot of the cars just struggling on this formation lap, on this warm-up lap. Well, it's not really a warm-up lap even, on this formation lap, just because the bumps in the track are so hard when you're going at low speeds. They sort of get caught in the groove and all of a sudden everything goes wrong for you. So you've got to be really careful at this stage of the evening, at this sort of slow speed section. And it's the same when you're following the pace truck as well. So if you're following the pace truck, if there's a caution, it can actually be much harder than just running full pelt.
I think if I'm not wrong, there's no cautions in these 10-lap sprints, these heats, I should say. So it's going to be green to the end. I might be wrong there, but I think I remember reading that anyway in the notes that we got given. So look out for that one. And as we get ready to go, it's a 10-lap sprint. And in this heat, and we want to see, obviously, who's going to make it through here. As you said, a really, really strong field. This one's going to be a tight battle to the end. It's not going to go very, very quickly there, as Justin Howe just getting a little bit loose. The 12 there of Aaron Hatton as we get underway, and it is the 661 of Jacob Burke, who's got a really good start there. Edward Foster getting a little bit of a tag by the look of it from Matty Raymond just on the inside there, but it is Burke, Howe, Raymond and Foster at the front. Howe gets wide and just touches the wall a little bit there, but hasn't disturbed the flow of that car too much. The 661 getting a little bit of understeer there. And the 78 of Justin Howe goes through, and it looks like Matthew Raymond also is going to make his way through down on the inside, as we're already one lap down. Oh, Matty Raymond just gets bogged down a little bit there. So Howe and Burke still in the front of this one, right down on the inside line there. I just couldn't quite pick up who that was. I think it might have been Ruben Phelps or perhaps Jaden Russell. The 661 and the 78 of Howe now get a little bit of a break on the pack with Matty Raymond coming through. He's trying to keep pace with him. Edward Foster right behind him. It's Jason Martin, Jaden Russell, Ruben Phelps, Josh Mickelmore, Steve Williams, Aaron Hatton, Mirko Datnak. We've got Ryan Wooden make up 2 spots and Nathan Rawlett to round out this first heat. You can see there, 60-61 just getting on the high. Looks like there's a little bit more drive out of there for him. And he keeps that top spot, 21.47, fastest man around last time. Justin Howe just keeping up on that inside line. Matty Raymond right behind him. Edward Foster just behind him. As we get through here, it's going to be up for Jason Martin, Jaden Russell to try and do something there in this pack. There's a little bit of gap then back down to Ruben Phelps and Josh Mickelmore, around about 2 seconds in fact, which is may not be insurmountable. We'll just see how that plays out. 6 still to go here. Burke and Howe. Howe now under pressure from Matty Raymond. Sorry there.
Doing a good job just keeping on that slightly looser stuff up the top, which does give a little bit more grip, surprisingly. You don't want to get onto the really sort of claggy, clayey stuff in the middle of the track there, because you do lose a lot of time and grip there. You can see Justin Howe and Matty Raymond side by side with Foster just behind him. Jason Martin doing a good job to keep in tow, as well as Jaden Russell.
28 there of Jaden Russell just closing right up on Jason Martin. And while you were in control, Carl, Ed Foster there just wrapping the 53 around the 83 and just getting clear. So he's now moved up into 3rd position, got a really good run on Matty Raymond. So Raymond now pushing back down the inside. He's right on that left-hand rear corner of Justin Howe, as well as Edward Foster, as the 661 of Jacob Burke has checked out at the front. He's got this tied up for the minute. Oh, there's a spin. There's a big spin there.
Foster and Howe make contact there. Little touch on the back of Justin Howe there, and that's got him going around.
And he is down there. Oh, and he's pulled back out onto the track, and it looks like Josh Mickelmore just running straight into him there. Nothing he could do. And that has meant that it is Edward Foster now in 2nd. Jaden Russell into 3rd position. A little bit of damage on the front of that truck. And Jason Martin, benefactor out of that one. Matty Raymond back into 5th. Ruben Phelps still in 6th, and it brought Steve Williams right up the field. He's now up into 7th in the Jack Daniels 98 truck, our current occupant, our current champion as well. So he's down there in 7th. A little bit of damage there. We've got 2 to go. The 1 now as we head around. Jacob Burke well out in front. He's done a great job. He'll probably be favourite going into the feature, I imagine. Ed Foster.
Yes, some seriously good speed from him. Just dropping down, just looking at Justin Howe. His engine is about to explode. He is pumping black smoke everywhere, and I just think he's not too far off from the leader. But you're going to get Jacob Burke crossing the line very shortly to take out the victory there. What a dominating drive from Jacob Burke.
Yeah, absolutely. It didn't really look like he was going to get troubled too much throughout that whole race. Did a ripping job out at the front. Little bit of biff and bash there towards the end of the race, but it is Burke, Foster, Russell, Martin, Matty Raymond, and I believe Ruben Phelps, who will definitely go through to what I'm used to calling an A main. I guess the feature race tonight.
Yeah, we'll go the feature race. We'll go with that one. It's always tricky to know what to call these bits. But yeah, they set a good result there. So strong drive from those guys. Unfortunate for Justin Howe getting caught up there, that little tap. But as is dirt racing, it is very much it's a bit of a contact sport sometimes, and if you just get caught in the wrong spot, it's very easy to go around, unfortunately. So looks like he just got caught up in that one.
So we're into Heat 2 here. Just quickly roll through the grid. We've got Nathan Clark, Aaron Dillon, Gary Wellman, Todd Maxfield, Troy Davidson, Jake Maloney, Luke Trahere, Brent Hobbs. We've got Nigel Patton, Kate Donnelly, Mick Taylor, Norm Clark, and I believe we've also got there, Tristan Cox. So this is our second heat for the evening.
Yeah, hold on to your hats, guys, because this one is going to get spicy as well. These races are short but sweet. They really are very quick races, and there is a lot involved in them as well. You really have to do your best and make sure you don't get caught out with them as well, because it's very easy to get caught round. Sometimes it's better just to not fight too hard, so to say, and just sort of take the battle a little bit later on. That we saw that high line was working very well just on that slightly softer dust up there, which just gives you a little bit more grip. You find on that very slick sort of like almost looks like a clayey surface, you lose a lot of grip there, and the car just sort of slides all over the place. So you generally want to get it up onto that slightly higher line and just get the softer dirt onto the tyres, just getting that grip involved with it. But the truck's going to come in very shortly, and Nathan Clark is going to be our leader for heat number 2 here tonight. He's going to have Aaron Dillon on his outside, both very quick drivers on the dirt. Nathan Clark leads away, gets a good drop over the leaders. Very good start from Nathan Clark there. Pulls away straight away from Gary Wellman, who just makes contact with Aaron Dillon. Down the inside, we've got Luke Trahere trying to make some moves up there, but not managing to do it just yet. He's going to get out there in head of Todd Maxfield, though, who touches the wall. Gary Wellman's managed to get a good position up there as well, into second place, just behind Nathan Clark. And Luke Trahere's trying to work his way up the lower line at the moment. Todd Maxfield managing to get back into the action in 4th position. He's managed to get that car settled down with, despite that little bit of touch on the wall. It's not as costly as some races, but you don't want to lose any time on a short race like this. You see Luke Trahere taking that real inside line, going completely sideways there, trying to take that shorter line, but often it leaves you a little bit less speed on the exit, and you can just see he's going to get mauled on the exit of the turn there, as always contact there between Troy Davidson and Todd Maxfield there. Those two just making contact with each other, just bumping doors, and that's caused a little bit of a check up behind, which is allowing Aaron Dillon, Gary Wellman and Nathan Clark to pull away at the front.
Okay, Donnelly there just struggling at the back. He is bringing up this field, but Nathan Clark checked out 1.5 seconds to the good already. 7 laps to go. Gary Wellman just behind him. He has a fast closing Aaron Dillon teammate right behind him, and using that high line to good effect. That line may change throughout this evening, but at the moment definitely the place to be. Just saw Trahere get eaten up when he was down on the inside, just not getting the drive out onto the straights, and that cost him. So he's currently running in 6th position. We've got Jake Maloney in 5th, Todd Maxfield in 4th, and that is your top 6. Troy Davison is right down in 7th. He's making his way back up after a little bit of damage earlier on in this one. He's chasing down Trahere and is closing the gap, as we've seen a change here. No, Gary Wellman's just dropping in and out, I'm sorry. So he still is running 2nd, Aaron Dillon in 3rd.
Yeah, a little bit of a mistake for Jake Maloney. Just had to check up a little bit, and that gave Luke Trahere and Troy Davidson a little bit of a run on him behind him. So that gave him a little bit of an opportunity. Aaron Dillon is closing on Gary Wellman at the moment, as we've got 4 laps remaining. So it is coming to a close very shortly here. There's only a couple of laps to go, but anything can happen in those couple of laps. All it takes is one momentary lapse of concentration on a track like this, and all of a sudden your race is over and done with.
Just Trahere coming under fire from Davis and Jake Maloney there, just touching the wall. Trahere doing the same thing, so he's going to be under some pressure now. If Davison can get the drive out of the corner, Trahere's just up in that higher line, still working very effectively. He's just managed to save that one. So Troy Davison's going to be stuck down in 7th position at the moment. Jake Maloney still doing a good job just in front of Trahere, maintaining the gap around about a second. He got real close to the wall there though.
Maloney making the big contact with the wall, actually, and
there it is again.
That's a big one. That's going to cost him some time there. I reckon that will be some suspension damage at least, but he's managing to keep that car going at the moment. Up front, Nathan Clark is just running away. Aaron Dillon has just got in front of Gary Wellman, sorry, so that's changed position up to 2nd place for Aaron Dillon, so he's managed to get past Gary Wellman, get back up there for him, as Jake Maloney, big impact into the wall once more, and he's going off into the infield, and that is it over for Jake Maloney, as we've got 1 lap remaining for Nathan Clark right here. He's going to come around for the checkered flag in the lead of this heat race and take this one out.
Crosses the line there to take the win in the heat, so he will be featuring again this evening. Really good drive from him, nice and clean the whole way around, not too dissimilar to the 661 in heat 1. So himself, Aaron Dillon, Todd Maxfield coming home in 3rd, Luke Trahere getting up into 4th. and he will be happy with that result as well. Gary Wellman in 5th, Troy Davison in 6th as the top 6 finishers for this evening. We're about to get into heat number 3, and there will be fireworks in this one. I am certain of that. There are some names in here that just breathe that sort of race. Let's get them up on the screen now.
A lot of big names in this one. So James Robbie, Danny G on the front row, Murray Howes, Michael Skurlock on the second row. Third row is Dave Douglas and Joshua Carroll Walden. Fourth row is Christopher Finley and Aidan Schultz. 6th is Daniel Hedgeshield and Dwayne Priest, and at the back we have Brody Masters and Hamish Cleland. So a lot of big names in this field. You could come out of this looking incredibly good if you're one of those drivers that are newer to the series. We've seen some good drives this start of the season from some newer names. If they can get it pulled out the bag here with all of these names in this field, they could be in for a good night right now. You've got to say Murray Howes looking good in 3rd position to do that at the moment, but he's got a very, very fast James Robbie in front of him.
So James Robbie fastest in this field in qualifying in this 3rd heat, but there's plenty of big names in here, so for some of them to miss out, it's going to be a fight to the death, I reckon, with this one. So the 41 of James Robbie is going to take us away. Danny G right up front next to him. Excuse me, as I just clear the old vocal cords to get ready for this one. It's one of the things I like about calling dirt racing. It's go, go, go the whole time. So get ready for this. Look out for Joshua Carroll Walden in the 35. Dave Douglas, the 199. Michael Skurlock in the 350. They're going to put the pressure on as well. Daniel Hedesheet had a really good run last week as well. Look out for him. So there's plenty of action in this 3rd heat, and we're about to go racing with 10 laps here at Knoxville.
And James Robbie gets a good start once more, managing to get away. Danny G's just kept onto the back of him at the moment. It's going to be a bundle into the first corner as Skurlock's managed to get up into 3rd place at the moment. Will he be able to keep it? He's going to run it right up against the wall, trying to get past Murray Howell. Will he be able to make the move stick? He does at the moment. Good job from Skurley up the front. James Robbie has managed to keep it in the lead at the moment, and he's just pulling away a little bit from Danny G.
Absolutely got the job done there. These guys running really, really close to the wall. Daniel Hedesheet, I think, in the background there, just giving the wall a little bit of a touch there. You can see, in fact, it was the 52 of Aidan Schultz who might have given the wall a little bit of a love tap. And Dave Douglas just up in front of them. He's just chasing down Josh Carroll Walden. Oh, Josh real slow into the corner there, but Dave Douglas just closing right up on the back of him. Josh running wide, but able to get the drive out of the corner. He's managed to save that one and open the gap up a little bit. In the 35, he's tapped the wall there, I think, as well. Just trying to get it pushed out. As you can see, the leaders come through there. Michael Skurlock. Then you've got Murray Howell, Joshua Carroll Walden in behind him, and Dave Douglas bringing it through. James Robbie does a 22.03 fastest lap so far. He is just opening up a little bit of a gap here at the front over Danny G. So Danny's got some work to do with 7 to go as he just taps the wall there. Can't quite get it off the wall. In fact, he's just bumped it the whole way around there. That's going to help Skurlock catch up on the back of him. He'll lose some momentum. Murray Howell right behind him. There's a battle with Dave Douglas and JCW right behind. Oh, Douglas gets real close. JCW hits the wall. So he's going to lose the momentum. Dave's going to get that position, the 199, up into 5th position. Aidan Schultz will get a close in on this one. Christopher Finlay and Hedesheet battling just behind them as now Douglas gets wide and JCW smells blood. So the battle's on here for 5th and 6th. It's pretty settled at the front at the moment. This is where the action is, so we'll stick with it here with 6 to go. Dave gets real vertical on him. Free up the field there. He's up on the inside mound. That's going to cost him when he gets back out in front of JCW. JCW gets higher to try and get the drive on him. Dave's forced to run that lower line. Oh, and he's switched back out to the outside as well. It's all on.
A glide job there for Dave Douglas, but didn't quite work out. JCW just managing to get that position back, and he is going to try and defend that with all his might, but he can't quite do it. He just gets caught up in front of Dave Douglas once more. Dave Douglas is going to get a better run off this corner. Going to see Douglas just trying to get there, but he can't quite get past Joshua Carroll Walden at the moment. James Robbie has checked out a little bit at the front. Danny G in 2nd, Michael Skurlock in 3rd with Murray Howe in 4th. But the battle is on as Dave Douglas catches the wall and goes round. A big spin for Dave Douglas, catching out JCW as well.
Unfortunately there, we got stuck in the we were stuck in the ground watching the guys drive over the top of us, but you saw him go for the big slide there, and that's going to end Dave Douglas's night. Might end up getting him up in the com box here if he's not too furious, but at the moment it is James Robbie checked out at the front. 2 seconds to the good over Danny G, who is equally 2 seconds to the good from Michael Skurlock, who has a fast-charging Murray Howell right behind him at the moment. Position is everything now. They want to get as far up as they can to be as far up as they are able to be on the grid for the feature race. So it's not over yet, even though we've only got 2 laps to go. Aidan Schultz has run a conservative race. He's done all right with a little bit of damage on the Crank Esports mobile at the front there, but he is currently sitting in 5th. Christopher Finlay just shoots up out of nowhere in the 104, and he's got the 2 of Brody Masters coming around the outside where the drive is. So he's going to lose that position, is he, as we head into the final lap. 52 of Aidan Schultz down in no man's land on the inside there. He manages to get it back out onto the line. The 2 doing a really good job on the outside there. Brody fast charging on the way home here. Murray Howell still just lost a little bit of ground to Michael Skurlock there. It is going to be James Robbie who brings this one home at a canter. 2.7 seconds to the good. Danny G right behind him. Those 2 out front, pole and second place sitters on the grid, have managed to bring it home 1 and 2. Michael Skurlock up 1 position into 3rd, and we've got Murray Howell in 4th, Aidan Schultz in 5th, and Brody Masters with his hard charge at the end there finishing in 6th place.
What a furious race there. We saw a lot of action up on the front there, as we expected. A big name getting taken down quite early is Dave Douglas, just making that little bit of mistake and going completely round for him. That's a costly one for Double D, Dave Douglas.
So we've clearly got this absolutely wrong because Dave Douglas is on the grid. He's just right down the back. So no eliminations out of the heats, just to help sort out qualifying a little bit better, and I guess make things a little bit more exciting as it did. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to continue that same level of pace with a call for 100 laps, but we'll see how we go. Let's run through the field here for the AJ Insurance Services ANZCAR Truck Series Round 2 at Knoxville. We've got Jacob Burke, Nathan Clark on the front row with James Robbie and Edward Foster off row 2. We've got Aaron Dillon and Danny G off row 3 with Jaden Russell and Todd Maxfield off row 4. It's Michael Skurlock and Jason Martin off row 5 with Luke Trahere and Murray Howell off row 6. We'll flick over the sheet here. Matthew Raymond, Gary Wellman off 7 with Aidan Schultz and Ruben Phelps off 8. We've got Troy Davis and Brody Masters off 9. Aaron Hatton and Nigel Patton off 10 with Christopher Finlay, Steve Williams off 11. Brent Hobbs and Daniel Heddersheet off row 12. And rounding out our grid is Nathan Rawlett with Norm Clark. We've got Dwayne Priest, Josh Micklemore, watch for him to come through. Mick Taylor, JCW as well. He'll be have the bit between the teeth, you'd assume. Josh Wooden with Woden, my apologies, with Cade Donnelly. We've got Hamish Collins, Mirko Doutnak with Jake Maloney and Dave Douglas, rounding out this whopping big field of 36 cars. There are cautions. We're about to go green in this one, and it's going to be Jacob Burke who takes us away.
Yeah, 100 laps here now, so a longer race for sure. Jacob Burke going to lead away once more. First time leading away in an ANZCAR race last time round, so wasn't 100% sure if it was him leading the way or if it was the green, so now he knows for sure what to do. We've seen he has some really good pace in that car, but he has Nathan Clark and James Robbie right behind him. 3 very fast drivers in that top 3 right now, and don't discount Edward Foster up there in 4th as well. But Jacob Burke is going to ease it around the final corner here. Pace truck has gone in, and we'll be going green very shortly for round 2 of the ANZCAR Truck Series here on FGM eCars. And away we go. Jacob Burke gets a bit of a poor start on the lower line. This is going to give Nathan Clark the higher line. You've gone 3 wide into the first corner. You've got Clark, Burke and Robbie there. There's a little bit of contact between the 2 cars at the front, but this is giving Nathan Burke the chance to get out in front.
I think that was the 41 there, and the 13 of Aaron Dillon just coming into contact with one another. But Nathan Clark, Jacob Burke out in front, and it is going to be Jacob Burke who's going to surrender the position to Nathan Clark. So Clark now out into the lead very, very early on here. As you can see, the track has been scraped, I believe, between runs. So we've got no line essentially as yet. 41 of James Robbie there, just a little loose down on the inside with Jaden Russell to his outside. Edward Foster's dropped 1 position down into 5th. At this point in time, James Robbie moves up. We've got Jason Martin dropping back a little bit.
Down. Sorry, big contact further down. Aaron Dillon, just a big bit of contact. And the number 2 going around of Brody Masters spinning around in the background. He's taking a full spin around, and we've got a caution flag out for it.
just trying to jump on board here. When those things happen, all the cars so close together, there's almost no hope whatsoever of us trying to catch any of the action live. So let's go back and have a quick look at that while we can. While the caution is out, we'll jump on board with Brody and just see what happened to him.
Always hard to catch it. It just looks like the back end has stepped out a little bit. He's gone into the corner trying to get the tail around, and it's just stepped out a little bit more than he expected. I think he might have got a little bit of help from the number 12. They were very close there when they got into each other, and yet the number 12 just getting into him slightly there. So a little bit of contact between him and Aaron Hatton there. And Brody Masters could not get it back round again. The pendulum started to swing, and then the number 12 just helped him fully around, and that was the first caution of the night.
Just tell you what, how lucky was Daniel Heddersheet in the 35 there, just managing to push his way around the outside of the 12 of Aaron Hatton. So he got lucky as well during that little obstacle course that was put in front of him.
Yeah, the little slalom course that you get out there occasionally. It gives you a little bit more to race against. It makes it very tricky out there, you know. And as you said, the marshals have been very busy on track with the old brushes getting the dirt back online and things like that. So had all of the marshals out on the track, giving it a good sweep and getting it back to how it was before. So there isn't a line as of yet, but that will start to form quite quickly here with this many cars going around, this many trucks going around. As we said, 36 trucks going around this circuit is going to make it that dust clean up pretty quickly. So that line will start to appear relatively sharpish.
Biggest mover so far, no surprises. Dave Douglas up 10 spots from his starting position down at the rear of the field. His truck is still clean, and he's up into 26th position.
Yeah, Jason Martin making a good move as well. He made his way up to 5th from 10th position. So a good little start from Jason Martin there as we go back to green flag racing right here. Nathan Clark gets a brilliant start away and manages to pull away. James Robbie is fighting that car and absolutely flying through the field there. He's on the outside of Jacob Burke right now. This might cost him a little bit on the exit as Jacob Russell comes into the fight now as well.
Yeah, a lot of the guys hunting for grip at the moment, hunting for drive. They're trying all sorts of lines, low, mid and high, if you could believe it. And we've just got there Jade Russell, James Robbie just battling away mid, running 3 wide, I should say, joined by Jaden Russell. So 3 wide in second, third and fourth even. You can see the 661 there of Jacob Burke. He's just getting real high in the line. It's giving him good drive, and he's making hay here. James Robbie as well doing the same thing. So those two running together. Nathan Clark's checked out at the front. He's already 3/4 of a second to the good. Jason Martin, Michael Skurlock battling away behind that. There are battles, as you'd expect, right the way throughout the field as we get this one back underway. Almost on to lap 10 already of 100 laps here at Knoxville.
Yeah, Gary Wellman getting caught out a little bit, a big slam into the wall, and that's cost him a fair few positions falling down the order at the moment, but it's helping one. Dave Douglas working up as, I think that was Norman Clark, Norman Clark taking a big smash into the wall. He's managed to keep that truck going, but he's going to have to get into pit lane, I think, because there is some serious damage to that vehicle.
You just see that there on the left-hand rear corner of that 09 of Norman Clark, Christopher Finlay and Luke Trahere. No, I'm just seeing a whole heap of drivers drop in and out, unfortunately, with what looks like internet issues, so they're just moving up and down the field unbeknownst to them. So 43 here at Luke Trahere, he's down to Gary Wellman. Norman Clark, unfortunately, has had another incident in the 09 car there. 16, a bit of damage on the back of that one of Todd Maxfield too, so he's being pursued by the 52 of Aidan Schultz. There as he just gets into the back corner of Danny G, and he's turned Danny G around, and there's going to be a caution as a consequence of that one. So it's a little bit innocuous there, just a slight tap on the back corner, and that was enough to turn Danny G around and bring out our second caution of the night.
Yeah, really unfortunate there for Danny G, just getting that big spin around, and unfortunate for him because he was having a really good run up there as well. So I think he's going to be, you just sit there and it's just, you're just fuming at things. You just sit there and until you watch the replay, of course, you don't know exactly what happened or who was at fault, but when you're having a good run like that, running so far up, you just sit there and you just start screaming at your wheel or taking deep breaths. Unfortunately, he got caught by Ruben Phelps in that incident as well, and I'm pretty sure that blew his engine. So big damage to Ruben Phelps as well, but I think Danny G's engine is a goner, so I think that might be him out of the race, unfortunately. So I think we've lost him, Norman Clark, and Ruben Phelps.
Yeah, just checking there. The 45 gave him a good clip with the back. It was Gary Wellman, but you're right here. Here's Ruben, just nowhere to go. He's the car in the middle. And I'll tell you what, the man with the four-leaf clover on the back corner of his truck, Dave Douglas there, just missing the Mitch Motorsport 24 of Danny G, flying through the air as he got collected by Ruben Phelps.
Luck's got to come your way at some stages, and it's coming Dave Douglas's way at the moment. He's having a really good run up there. 18 positions gained so far this race. Big mover at the moment. Nathan Clark is going to lead away at the front once more. The pace truck should be coming in very shortly, and we should be going back to green flag racing soon. One of the good things about a track this short, of course, is cautions are cleaned up pretty quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 laps flies by in the blink of an eye. So the 6 and 41 still firmly installed at the front of this field. Both up one position as we get back underway. Looked like Jacob Burke just missed the start a little bit there. Nathan Clark getting away early, but Burke ducks down to the inside line to try and make something happen. It's the 6 and 41 get good drive. Oh, they're going to get real close together there. It's a 21 of Jason Martin. Starts to put the pressure on. Jaden Russell's involved. Michael Skurlock's involved. We've got a big battle pack at the front here. That 28 of Jaden Russell. He's got a little bit of pace at the moment. He's down on that lower line. Oh, it's the 666 hits the wall. So that is Jacob Burke into the wall on the high line. Obviously, he hasn't come down on the inside line and done that. And Nathan Clark, James Robbie at the front.
Yeah, he's just got back out there and just makes a little bit of contact with, when he makes contact with Maxfield, I think it is, as well. So he's sort of got pressed into the wall by Todd Maxfield. He had a little bit of a door swipe with Skurlock as well, so they were banging doors with each other as, a bit further back, we've got a car going to go round as another caution flies out. Not for the one I was actually looking at, though.
Somebody has Dave Douglas.
His luck has run out, unfortunately.
So it looks like Jason Howe had some issues. Dave got caught up in it and that brought out.
Yeah, so watching it again, actually, it looks like Stephen Williams might have caught Dave Douglas in the first part and then just spun him in there. And Justin Howe's got nowhere to go, gone up underneath Dave Douglas there and not rolled him over completely. Dave Douglas has got away relatively scot-free from that one. But depends how much damage is on the front. But then when they're trying to get back to position, they spin around and then make nose contact with each other. The 195, Ryan Wooden as well, caught up in that incident too.
Yeah, you're right.
So watch here as they spin around. Hopefully Dave will reappear on the stream very shortly, but he sort of comes up and then all of a sudden there's a bit of a nose contact between himself and Justin Howe, I think it was.
And he's just dropped out of the feed there, unfortunately, so we weren't able to see that one. But he's back out on track. Just have a quick look at the front of his car. Well, there's too much damage on the 199, so as you say, he got away relatively scot-free from that one. Bit of obviously big damage on the back corner, but he should be right to continue with that. There's a little bit of an incident in front of them as well, which we missed as a result of that caution, trying to see what was going on. But plenty of damage getting around on these trucks. Should sort itself out as the field starts to spread if we get a good period without these cautions.
Yeah, that's it. When you're racing so close to each other on such a low grip surface, it is very hard. And it's not an easy thing to do. We say oval racing's not easy. Dirt racing is not easy in the least. It's basically like driving in the rain almost. That sort of levels on an oval while going sideways in a truck with, 650, 700 horsepower underneath it. It's not an easy thing to do whatsoever. And when you see these guys making it look easy, they're just... It's just jaw-dropping. As Nathan Clark gets a good launch away once more, he's going to have Jaden Russell following him in. Jaden Russell actually gets a really good start there and manages to get up ahead of James Robbie. So Jaden Russell getting a really good start there, as well as Michael Skurlock as well, getting past Robbie as we got another caution out.
Yeah, Jacob Burke there just getting turned around, so he's if I can catch onto him. He's just down on the infield there. He's facing the wrong way. Go back and have a quick look at that. But yeah, he looked like he just came together. Not sure who with, but I'll jump back on board with him now and let's have a look at that one. But he just got turned around there. Yeah, it was.
I think it was Aaron Dillon there.
It was Aaron Dillon. So just spun him down on the infield. Still brought it enough to bring out the caution, but not enough to end his night. So he'll be happy with that, even though he has got a fair bit of work to do, having started up on pole position.
Yeah, it's often the case sometimes you start on pole and it just does not go your way sometimes, and then all of a sudden at the end of the race it all comes back together. So you never have to, the biggest thing is not giving up, of course, because you need to keep pressing on in these cars, in these trucks, and just keep on going, because you never know what's going to happen finish wise. You never know how it's going to go as the cars are just getting ready and lined up once more, as Jacob Burke, I think, has just disconnected. So I think that might be him out of the race, unfortunately. So our pole sitter might be out for this one. So good pole position from Jacob Burke there, but unfortunately the race did not go his way.
Yeah, indeed, he has jumped out. So it's a disappointing end for what was a promising night for him as we get ready to go again. And it is Nathan Clark and Jaden Russell. Michael Skurlock manages to move up into third. The 41 of James Robbie to his right when we get on the restart. Jason Martin up into sixth position. And just managing to keep out of the way of the damage, which is the way to make your night a little bit more successful.
Yeah, keeping a clean truck is always a good idea, and it's never a bad thing to have as the pace truck comes in once more, and Nathan Clark wastes no time whatsoever putting his foot right on that loud paddle straight away to try and get a good jump, and they are all into the first corner again. All of them are sideways, which is usually a bad thing, but it's a good thing on a track like this. They managed to keep it in a good sideways motion and keep them going in a forward momentum as well.
Good run from 28 there. Jaden Russell down the inside, so he's now putting the pressure on the 6 of Nathan Clark. And Skurlock there in the background, just copying a little bit of a panel beat, and that's dropped him a couple of positions. Jason Martin putting the pressure on him now. Skurlock drops down into fourth, loses that position to Martin as well. So he just drops that one position, just on that high line there. Martin running the low line. They all just sort of got caught up a little bit there, a little bit boggy on the track. Is that Todd Maxfield also involved in this pack, and you've got the 010 of Murray Powell as well as Gary Wellman. Edward Foss just dropped a little bit here, and he has got a fast charging 13 of Aaron Dillon right behind him.
Yeah, that's it. Todd Maxfield not winning any favours up the front at the moment as he made contact with Murray Howell there and gets up in front of Jason Martin. Jason Martin just manages to keep that truck going in the right direction somehow. That was a super safe from Martin in the 21 there. But Todd Maxfield has been absolutely wild out there, quite fun to watch, but he is really pressing that car on as Foster and Martin make a little bit of contact in the corner. Foster just missing, just getting missed by Aaron Dillon there. It almost got spun around there. Those two are going to be battling it out now as they've made contact, and I can assure you that Foster will be happy to send that one back, I'm sure, if he gets the opportunity, just to say a little bit of a hello. But you can see these cars just making contact there as Manny Raymond and Aaron Dillon just making door-to-door contact as well. Rubbin is racing, son, and they are definitely rubbing as Luke Trehere gets caught out in that one. He is the one that gets caught out worse in that one, as we've got another caution out.
Yeah, it looks like Nigel Patton might have had an issue there. Trehere getting the innocent victim in that one, get caught up behind those cars, just getting stuck on the fence. And you see the front of that Crank Esports truck looks very second-hand.
I'd say jump on board Mirko Dortnack for that one, because he had a wild ride. A bit of a wild adventure for Mirko Dortnack there in the 62 for that caution, unfortunately. So he's gone up and over again, back onto his wheels, and then finally settled on all fours. But that was a bit of a roller coaster for Mirko Dortnack there.
Yeah, you won't be happy with that, and I'll no doubt be saying some choice words in the Crank Esports Discord at the moment.
Well, gotta hope he's not using VR there, because he might be in the might be throwing up for a couple of moments after that one. But hopefully we'll get back to normality soon. It's not a fun position to be in those situations where you are rolling over lots.
Absolutely. So Nathan Clark, Jaden Russell just be hoping for a little bit of sustained green flag running, I think, and along with James Robbie and Michael Skurlock. Edward Foster there suffering probably the most out of anyone. He had a huge drop down the field again there, another 4 or 5 positions. His truck's in reasonably good shape against those around him, but yeah, it's this mid-pack battle here is intense. There's nowhere to go.
A really good recovery drive from Gary Wellman in the 45, actually. He's managed to get back up there into 6th place. Gary was all the way towards the back of the grid a few laps ago, and he's managed to get back up there into 6th place. The truck is not looking pristine, let's say that. It's not looking like a showroom floor truck, but it's going, and that's the important thing.
Dave Douglas also on a recovery mission. He's up 12 spots, still up into 24th, having gone effectively to the back of the field after being spun, so he's making progress.
That's one of the beautiful things on a track like this. As we go back to green flag racing, Nathan Clark again gets a good bit of drive away. Will he be able to keep the position as we go through turn 1? We've seen a few times the lower line has been struggling a little bit off the starts, but he manages to just about keep it there. Jaden Russell is going to try and make the move. He's got down to the inside line. He's going to spin it around and go for the slide job. He manages to make that slide job. Always Merck as they make contact there. The 2 leaders make contact and have a bit of a check up behind him. That's going to give James Robbie the opportunity now to make the move on the lead. He's right down on the inside there, and he's going to get past Nathan Clark. Nathan Clark's going to get better drive off the corner, get that position back in the 6th. Will he be able to keep it though, as a fast charging Jaden Russell is right there on the high line. They are 3 wide, sliding side by side, and they make contact into the wall. Clark and Russell make contact into the wall. Big contact for Clark. That's going to cause some damage to that car, but that's given James Robbie the opportunity to get a little bit of breathing space at the front of this pack for a couple of moments. Gary Wellman up into 2nd now with Nathan Clark still running up there. He's still managing to go, but there's some serious impact for him and the wall.
Yeah, absolutely unbelievable. 4 wide down in the mid-pack, as well as there's a really slow-moving car down in the infield there. I think that might have been Luke Trahere, who's just copped a fair bit of damage. That car is going to have its night over. Murray Howe involved in an incident as well, as he drops down through the field, and we've got another caution period. Let's jump on board with Murray Howe. I've just got to find him as he flew back down through the list. There we go. What's going on with that one? Jump back on the replay here.
So we'll have a watch of this one. Had Josh Micklemore involved in an incident as well. Luke Trahere got caught up with Aaron Dillon, and basically just his engine is gone. So big incident there, and just trying to find out what exactly happened with these ones, of course. We also had an incident a bit further down with Hamish Clan and Cade Donnelly. Cade Donnelly was fully the wrong way round as he made contact with Josh Micklemore as well, but you can see there Murray Howe getting caught up and spun around and right into the front of the 16 there. Yeah,
so it was a little bit of concertina there. The 350 Michael Skurlock up into the 28, which ultimately then ended with Murray Howe getting caught out. He just got grabbed by the 28 there when he was spun, and ended up with him in front of Skurlock. So that's unfortunate for him. Cade Donnelly as well. Just jumping through to this one. Yeah, looks like he's got checked up as well. Yeah, just with the 85, and then up into the 40. So that's spun him around with the 23 involved, and it's just created another concertina there. 62, Marco Dortnack just unfortunately in the wrong place at the wrong time as well, and there's a fair bit of damage out there tonight.
yeah, it's going to be a busy night for the panel beaters. It's a tricky night out there for all of it. And this is the thing on this dirt track. It is a tough place to race. It's not an easy thing to race on in these trucks. And that's why we love seeing it so much. But James Robbie's going to lead away. He catches Gary Wellman napping, gets a brilliant restart there. James Robbie, like a greased whippet there, flying off the start and getting a great lead up the front. Gary Wellman getting side by side with Michael Skurlock, as well as he got caught out just in the wrong gear, I think it was, for Wellman. He just had no speed at the start there. He managed to get it going again now, but he's struggling a little bit as he does go sideways, and he's just going to make it through. Almost disaster there for Wellman, but James Robbie, just a fantastic start.
Yeah, absolutely. He got perpendicular there to 45, and that really slowed up the pack, as well as the 21 of Jason Martin's down on the infield there. He's going to lose a ton of spots. He's just managed to pull it up there. I think it was Aaron Dillon just got really loose there. Dwayne Priest up into the fence. So it's getting wild here as Martin ducks into pit lane. 44 of 100. They're really riding that wall. 28 there as the 777 and the 12 come into contact. Dwayne Priest and Aaron Hatton say hello to one another door to door. Edward Foster there's just making a move down on Daniel Heddersheet. He gets that done. He's got Michael Skurlock to his outside. And I tell you what, Ed was lucky in that last instant. He just got a tiny little tap on the rear bumper, and that was it, just managing to make it through. So he's now moved up into 4th position. He was running as low as 11th, so the restart's been favourable for him. And Daniel Heddersheet's just down on the inside. We've got Joshua Carroll-Walden up 22 positions into 8th spot, so he's just been jogging on the spot and managing his race a little bit. And he's a benefit. He has benefit from there. Oh, it's just in the background there. I think it was Todd Maxfield again. He's just got loose, and Ed's just gone real slow there. I'm not sure what happened to him as we've got another caution period. And I'll have to have a look back through a couple of incidents there. There was plenty going on. Murray Howes jumped to the pits. I think that might have been where we saw him just get, again, perpendicular to the wall and just basically stop.
Yeah, just having a watch of that one. So we'll see on the replay here as gone around, get some contact there as well. That does not help things out between the 16 and the 010. And yeah, round they go, and very tricky situation. And I think he's gone straight into the wall there. Bang, that's the end of that engine, and it's just going to bounce him out onto track. You can slam on your brakes with that, but you're not going to do much other than go out into front of people, unfortunately. And that collected the
Troy Davison
85, I think. Yeah, so
yeah.
As well, so a few drivers getting caught up in that one, unfortunately.
Dave Douglas there, lucky not to cop the rebounding 010. Murray Howell as well. He just managed to get around the outside of that one, and that is a night over for Murray Howell. That motor is toast.
Yeah, it's going to be a painful one, that one, and it's just one of those incidents that you think you're going to get away with it, does not quite work out as well as you think it will, and so close to missing that one. But unfortunately, it was just that rebound off the wall that caught him out, and that really did make a difference there.
You can see there, even James Robbie now hasn't escaped a little bit of panel damage. The rear of that Rush liveried 41 entry has got a fair amount of panel work done to it. So that's happened since our last restart. And I can tell you, I think maybe just the Skurlock car at this stage is the only clean one left on the track. Not sure how that's happened.
It's clean. It's
oh no, he's got a bit of damage on the front there. There we go.
It's anything but clean, I think. I don't think if there's a clean truck out there, then they've not been driving hard enough. I think that's the way you got to put it. Probably the cleanest looking truck at the moment is Dave Douglas at the moment from the front. That truck looks relatively clean. Hamish Cleland as well, looking okay out there. That truck's looking relatively unscathed as we go back to Green Flag Racing, and James Robbie once again gets a really good start there, and once again remains in the lead. Did say watch out for James Robbie, because he is one of those drivers that is very, very quick on the dirt, but Nathan Clark is showing us his speed as well. Jaden Russell is trying to make up positions as well. He's taking down the really, really tight line at the moment, trying for a different line to everybody else and seeing if it works out. It's just behind him, and Dylan just gets very, very loose once more, but manages to save that car. There are cars all over the place at the moment. All big contact a little bit further back between Finlay and think that might have been Matty Raymond. So Matty Raymond and Christopher Finlay making some big contact with each other, but keeping the cars going. Quite a bit of contact into the wall at the moment. They're using that little bit of buffer of the extra bit of dirt that sits up next to the barrier to help them get through the corner a little bit, but making a bit too much contact as Foster gets tagged from behind and goes flying across the infield there. Big moment for Foster. He manages to keep the boot in and keep it going. That was a save and a half from Foster, and I think it was Jaden Russell that caught his back end, but Foster saving that one. Just behind him, Todd Maxfield going around. He's managed to save it as well, but going to lose a lot of time.
As Dave Douglas comes through as well now, he's managing to resurrect his evening. He's right up there with the 777 at Dwayne Priest and Joshua Carroll-Walden as well. So they're up now inside the top 10. Given how their nights have gone, that is a really, really good recovery so far. Daniel Heddersheed doing the same job as well. A lot of the guys just over-rotating a little bit at the moment and just keeps bogging the truck down, as Aaron Hatton apparently has had an issue as well. So Todd Maxfield, I tell you what, if there's anything left on the floor under his right foot from this evening, I'll be amazed.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be much truck left for anybody out there tonight. They are looking very fourth, fifth and sixth hand at the moment. I think if we get a truck home, it will be good. If we get one home in more than 4 pieces, it will be even better.
Yeah, absolutely. They're making pizzas out of them, that's for sure. But we're loving the action. It has been absolutely non-stop. And that's why these variation rounds get chucked in. They're fantastic for us to be broadcasting and watching.
Heddershield just got caught up from behind by Foster. A little bit of love contact between those two. Just getting into the back of Heddershield Foster there, and he managed to keep it going, but he's got Gary Wellman now fighting with him. That battle is really heating up for 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. Wellman hits the wall, just loses a few positions. This is going to give Dave Douglas the opportunity to make the move. He's got Jason Martin just on the inside of him. Jason Martin is unfortunately a lap down, I think.
Yes, he is.
From memory, just trying to remember things at the moment. It's easier said than done. Yeah, he's just on the last lap, and the caution comes out.
Yeah, I just saw Aaron Dillon in the background there having a few issues. I think that may be the cause of this caution. Jump back and have a quick look at that one. Yeah, he did. He just rode real high, ran the line, and that car is having the rest of the night off as it ends up down on the infield there with a broken steering, I imagine.
Yeah, I think that car has had enough for tonight. I think it's given up and just decided that's enough for tonight. I'm going to go home. But wow, we saw some real close racing there, and this comeback at the moment is Dave Douglas, you got to say, but there are some big gainers out there. Joshua Carroll-Walden, 24 positions. Daniel Heddersheed, 17 positions. Dave Douglas, 28 positions. Kate Donnelly, 20 positions. Josh Mickelmore, 17 positions. You know, there are some really big gainers out there at the moment. So there's a lot to play for at the moment. Obviously, starting up near the front was not an advantage tonight, it seems, because most of those guys have fallen quite far back at the moment.
Absolutely, as the teammates Foster and Carroll-Walden there just get into a pack. I'm not sure that's going to help them too much tonight, but at least they got together and they are back up at the front there. So Foster just down one spot on his qualifying effort. Dave Douglas 28 positions up, Carroll-Walden 24 if you don't mind. Even Josh Mickelmore 17 up, Hamish Cleland up 19. Mercury Dorton, he's had a few issues tonight, but he in that extraordinarily broken Crank Esports looking vehicle, he's doing a great job. He's currently up 18 positions into 16. All these drivers still on the lead lap, of course, as well. So we've got 18 trucks still running on that lead lap as the lights go out on the pace truck. We're going to head back racing again here. I don't even know what lap we're on. Lap 60, I believe it is, 61 of 100, and we've still got some trucks running, so we must be doing something right.
40 laps to go, and importantly, Jason Martin is back on the lead lap.
Getting the lucky dog there, and just loose there at the front, the 350 and the 28. Jaden Russell and Michael Skirlock coming into contact before things even get underway. JCW under pressure from Daniel Heddersheed as well.
Cars on the inside, Gary Wellman getting caught out there with Christopher Finlay, I believe it was. Those two got caught right down on that lower bank, had to take a ride over that one. You can just see in the background as well, one of the I think it might have been Joshua Carroll Walden just up in the wall again, just taking a big chunk of wall out of Knoxville tonight in that car. Foster taking a much lower line at the moment. Foster's just trying to take a alternate line to some other people, it looks like. But there is a few different options out there now. People are starting to see what works and what doesn't, as Skurlock just catches the wall a little bit there. So Skurlock's going to lose a couple of positions. That's going to cost him a little bit of time. James Robbie doing a great job out front still, just scraping the rear of that car against the wall. Got the two Natari Autosport cars taking a lower line than everybody else, almost blocking the track a little bit there between the two of them. They're sort of taking a good defensive position, but they've got to keep that up, as all just into the back. You've got Dave Douglas just catching JCW there. So very close between them all. As we've seen all night, there is a lot of contact out there, but it's a lot of... you can't really do much contact because your car is... you're keeping it going, and that's the main thing. It's very hard to keep it going and not cause contact as well.
The 104 there of Christopher Finlay getting up into the wall, just running it around the outside there. Dave Douglas now getting into the wall as well. You can see that sort of sheen on the track starting to develop. Oh, there's a huge bit of contact there. It looked like Josh Mickelmore, maybe Kate Donnelly got into one another. Didn't quite catch it there, but certainly a light blue car, so I think it might have been that of Donnelly. Keep going here, and James Robbie is under pressure at the front still here from Nathan Clark. Jaden Russell just behind them. So these three at the front still battling away. They're hoping for a good green run here for a little bit so they can get something established. Just haven't managed to quite break the shackles for a caution period comes out. In the background there, Jaden Russell just clipping the wall. These two up the front doing a good job, just balancing the car there right next to the fence, doing a ripping job. Great to watch.
Yeah, brilliant driving skill up the front. These three drivers are just almost metronomic each lap. They are just keeping the rear of that car just millimeters away from the barrier. There's a cigarette paper between the barrier and the tail end of James Robbie's car on most laps, and he is right on the edge of clipping it every time. I think he's made contact, and he hasn't. That's the thing to watch right now. Same with Nathan Clark, same with Jaden Russell. These three drivers are putting on an absolute masterclass up the front at the moment, doing a great job, as Nathan Clark just makes a bit more contact with the wall than he would have hoped for there, but manages to save it still. They are just doing a great job and taking out a lot of speed at the moment. They are pulling away from the guys up in front, as we do the curse of the commentator thing, as all three of them make mistakes this time round. But just behind him, Michael Skurlock has some two Natari cars, and Foster and Carol Walden behind him, and then there's a bit of a gap between himself and Stephen Williams. So Stephen Williams is leading up the next pack in front of Dave Douglas, Gary Wellman, Daniel Heddershield, and Jason Martin, who's fought his way back from a lap down up into 11th place.
Good to see the cautions just enabling him to catch up there with the lucky dog, get back on the lead lap, and now he's driving well. He's going with Dave Douglas there. You see the 45 on the outside there of Gary Wellman, just getting a little bit lagged when he's trying to get back out on the gas, but he's managing to keep it up. But he is going to be under threat here from Jason Martin. He just does it again there, just gets right out on the outside of the track, just not quite getting the drive away. It looks like Martin's going to pick up this position now. And he does indeed, so he'll try and push up into that go with the 199 of Dave Douglas there. This lower line looks like it's a little more effective. We saw Foster early on giving it a go, and that's worked for him, with him now up onto the back of Michael Skurlock. In fact, he has slowed down a little bit there. I'm not sure what happened, maybe grabbed too much of the bank.
Front with Nathan Clark, he is choosing that lower line at the moment. He is using that lower line. He's getting his front tyres on that little bit of dirt on the inside to get the car hooked around a bit more. So he's taking that tighter line at the moment. He's able to make it work. He's keeping Jaden Russell behind him as
Nigel Patton there. Blew his motor gone.
Blew his motor. Managed to avoid everybody there, Nigel Patton. Very lucky there. He got the tow as soon as he could. That car's gone round, the engine's gone, I think, and he could see the leaders were coming and just got out of that as soon as possible.
Which has still caused a caution, just a single car incident there with the blown motor to Nigel Patton, so that will give us a little quick respite here, just having a look at the outside of the track, see what greets you when you get down to Knoxville. Marion Country Farm Bureau. It looks like an interesting place to go and spend a Friday night.
I imagine there are some interesting places down Knoxville. It sounds like a pretty fun place to be some nights, I imagine. I imagine going down there for some good old racing would be a very enjoyable evening for sure. But we can finally get a breather, have a bit of a drink of water if we need it, because, yeah, that was some fast and furious racing there. We've got 26 laps remaining now, so we're coming towards the sticky end of this race. James Robbie's up in front with Nathan Clark second, Jaden Russell in third, Michael Skurlock fourth, Edward Foster fifth, Joshua Carroll-Walden sixth, Stephen Williams up there in seventh, eighth is Jason Martin, Dave Douglas ninth, and 10th is Daniel Heddershield.
Absolutely, it's one of those races Johnny Tapp would have loved to have called back in the day. Probably would have blown up, wouldn't have taken a breath, all that sort of stuff. But it's certainly plenty of action tonight from Knoxville for round 2 of the Truck Series. And James Robbie out the front here. We're on lap 76, or about to be on lap 76 of 100. So we're about to begin the countdown to the end of this one, and to be brutally honest, at the moment it is still anybody's race. There's just had another car expire in the background there that might cause... No, the lights stay out on the pace track. Thought it might have caused one more lap under caution. Sounds like that was Troy Davison. Yeah, just losing the engine there as we go green again. And James Robbie gets a good jump on the field. The 6th of Nathan Clark gets right out wide here, and James Robbie goes up to that high line. He's got that all wrong there. Unfortunately, it's going to cost him a little bit of time. You'll see Nathan Clark come down the inside. 28 of Jaden Russell, who's a benefactor of those caution periods. He's now up in a third. Michael Skurlock in fourth, currently in hot pursuit of this lead pack. We've got Edward Foster behind him. JCW just struggling a little bit for traction there as well. And that is our lead grouping as we get this one underway. 24 laps to go here. Anybody's guess as to who's going to take this one out?
Dave Douglas having to take it across the infield at the moment, but he's managed to get it back onto the track as James Robbie and Nathan Clark are having a brilliant battle at the front. James Robbie just taking that slightly higher line. He's just getting that truck turned in, getting it up on that high line, getting the power down nice and easily. Nathan Clark's taking that lower line, getting a little bit more grip on that left front tyre, just getting the car turned in with a little bit more ease, not having to put so much energy through it. So it's a battle of lines at the moment, and it looks like Nathan Clark might have this one sort of in the long run. It looks like that lower line is starting to become the slightly faster line at the moment. So Nathan Clark just getting up there, and he's managed to take the lead off of James Robbie, who's been leading for an enormous amount of laps. James Robbie coming right down to that inside line now. He has seen what Nathan Clark's doing, and he's going to follow him because he's noticed that that lower line is working a bit faster, it seems.
He just can't keep the grab on the 41 down on that low line. Clark's got it sorted, he's worked it out now. He's opened up a little bit of a margin, half a second here over James Robbie. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it's plenty at the moment. It's now boosted out to a second. In fact, James Robbie struggling a lot with that one at the moment, just working that out. Jaden Russell right up in the fence. He's trying to get things done.
Good battle for 5th and 6th between Foster and Martin at the moment. Those two are side by side, and they are really, really close to each other. They are throwing it in with each other. These two have raced each other many, many times in the past. Jason Martin taking that high line, Foster on that low line at the moment, but Martin just making it a little bit easier. He managed to get the power down a little bit earlier that time. He's managed to get out in front of Foster.
Pun intended, it'll be dirty. Oh, he's got right up on the lip there as well. That's not going to help him. Foster might be able to take advantage of it, just couldn't quite get the drive down, even with that run up on the hill for Jason Martin in the 21. So Foster will be trying to make this position back. He's got JCW's teammate right behind him, and Josh Micklemore as well, as there has been a change at the top for the lead.
Well, there's a change up the front between the two drivers in second and third. James Robbie and Jaden Russell at the moment are battling it out lap after lap. They have been changing lap after lap as well. This battle is not letting go, and it is definitely getting quite heated up the front here. James Robbie just managing to get back ahead of Russell once more. But as they're battling it out, this is allowing Nathan Clark to pull away at the moment and get a good bit of a lead in that Toyota Tundra.
Yeah, as you say, it's opened up now nearly 2 seconds over Robbie and Russell, who are fighting. Michael Skurlock's just jogging on the spot in the background a little bit there, just watching what's unfolding. I think he's just waiting to see where that line develops and maybe make his move. Can't leave it too long. Jason Martin's opened a gap now over Edward Foster. He's 1.6 to the good and has challenged, or is challenging Skurlock now for that 4th position. So he is coming home with a head of steam in the 21 Mitch Motorsport entry. You can see there, he's just got that low line sorted out. He's picked it up and he's running with it. And Skurlock's got to try and work his way down onto that line. He's not going to get it done on this lap. It does seem to be working well for Jason Martin, winner of the Cup race last week at Dover. He's doing a really good job here, just keeping the pressure on. 15 to go, he's got time to get it done. Skurlock slows right down there. He works his way down onto that low line. That's not going to help him. Martin's going to get a better drive out of the corner here. He's going to be in a good position to try and close this one out. Gets right down. Skurlock gets really high up there. Not quite into the fence, but does get high into the line. Foster's just watching this one.
Better drive off the corner. It looks like that high line has a better drive as a caution is out.
It's Cade Donnelly, unfortunately, who's brought that one out. Looks like, let's have a quick look at it here. It looks pretty innocuous, that car. Not showing any real signs of damage. Let's have a quick look.
So he's got caught just from Dwayne Priest, just touched the rear of him, and then one of the crank boys gone into the back of Cade there. Unfortunately, Cade Donnelly just getting caught out with that one. And I think Joshua Carroll-Walden was having a moment as well in that car.
I think it might have been Mirko Doutnak who unfortunately was the innocent party in that one with Cade Donnelly. So hasn't had much luck tonight, Mirko, in the Crank Esports entry.
Yeah, he's not had the greatest luck tonight. He managed to roll it about 4 times, I think it was, and keep it going. So that was an impressive feat from Mirko. But unfortunately, I think that is his race over and done with. So we're not going to see Mirko out there any longer. But real shame for him to get caught up in that one. Sort of one of those situations that's no fault of your own.
Sorry, they're grabbing a quick drink to water the old ivories. It's been a full hour and a half here on FGM eCast from Knoxville with this dirt entry into the series. It's fantastic, loving it.
It almost feels like you've swallowed a ton of dirt, doesn't it? After a couple of after about half a minute of calling the action out on track, because it's just so hectic out there. We're going to get 10 laps to go after this one, so we're going to have a very short shootout here. It's going to be Nathan Clark and James Robbie on the front row once more. We've seen Nathan Clark can make that inside line work, but the leader, generally the inside line has struggled away on the restart. So will we see it once more this time, or will Nathan Clark be able to make this one work perfectly? Going to be interesting from him. Who's going to be the biggest gainer of the night at the moment? We've got Dave Douglas up there in 9th, 27 positions gained. So he's doing good up there at the moment. So he's looking good for that position as the green drops, and we are away once again. Nathan Clark gets a good start, manages to get the power down and manages to keep that car going in a good direction. James Robbie's going to try for the slide job on the outside. He's going to push it right high and try and get the car going quickly on the exit, try and get some speed back on Nathan Clark. Can't quite make it work this time round. It's giving Jaden Russell the opportunity to get underneath him. Jaden Russell going a little bit too close to the inside, getting up on the ground there. It's going to lose him time and possibly cost him position to Jason Martin, who's right on the back of him, as well as Skurlock. Skurlock on the outside at the moment. They're free wide into the corner. As you see, Jaden Russell just going right up to the high line there. That's going to give Jason Martin the opportunity to get underneath him. Behind him there is a big spin going around. Is it going to remain green? I think it is, but Gary Wellman getting caught up there as well. Nathan Clark, meanwhile, is battling it out on the bottom line, trying to keep it going. He's got James Robbie on the very outside of him as well. It is very close between these guys. They are trying all different lines at the moment. Nobody knows which line to take.
Jason Martin gets a really good drive off the corner there. He's putting Jaden Russell under a lot of pressure for 3rd position. Michael Skurlock with the 31 of Josh Mickelmore behind him. Just struggling a little bit at the moment. He's collected the wall a couple of times there. The 35 JCW getting down the inside. Josh Mickelmore not able to find a way through at this stage. Oh, he's run wide. He's clipped the wall. that's going to hurt his chances as Skurlock moves down onto that low line right behind JCW, who didn't get a great drive out of the corner. And Jaden Russell gets a good drive out on Jason Martin.
JCW goes round. JCW is going round.
And that has caused the caution to come out. I think Dave Douglas might have got caught up in that as well. There's another caution here, 6 laps to go at Knoxville.
Big contact between JCW and Dave Douglas there. Lots of contact between those cars, unfortunately. And that is going to be a big one, unfortunately, for those guys. There was a lot of cars caught up in that as well. A lot of cars caught up in that. So there was a big aftermath after that incident.
And there you see Dave Douglas just not able to go anywhere at all to get out of the way of that one. And he's been caught up. And then the 104 just gives him another little touch-up. Here he comes down on the infield. We've got the 777 of Dwayne Priest. He gets almost rolled over by the Mitch Motorsport 24 of Danny G. And it's basically just a parking lot down there with JCW once again down on the inside. So carnage down there with just 6 laps to go.
I think that took Dave Douglas out of the race as well, unfortunately. I think his engine is done for. So we've lost another car. Another car has fallen tonight, which leaves us with just 16 cars out there now, I think, on the lead lap. 16 cars on the lead lap. So we are down to just the 16 cars on that lead lap. So it's been a very tricky night for a lot of drivers out there. But Nathan Clark has to do it again. There's going to be a couple of laps, a very small handful of laps remaining, and he's going to have a hard charge in James Robbie next to him. This restart is going to be a very tricky one. He's got to do it once more and hope that it all makes it round nice and clean.
Yeah, it's anyone's game. Right now, anyone's game. Got to get down on that inside line where the pace seems to be as the pace truck pulls off down to the inside. When will Nathan Clark go? He has gone, and it is the 41 of James Robbie who's gone with him. We've got Jaden Russell down on the inside. A couple of the boys there. We've got Micklemore and Martin up on the outside line. Skurlock down on the inside. Edward Foster's still involved in this one as well. The 35, Daniel Heddershield, just not quite getting the drive out of the corner there as there's 3 to go. Down on the inside, Nathan Clark getting a really good run here. He's building a small gap over the 41 of James Robbie. Jaden Russell going with him. Skurlock down on the inside. And it is still Jason Martin as well, who currently is in 4th position. Skurlock getting a really good run there down the inside. Just pushing his way through. He's going to get that done, I think, and move himself up past Jason Martin into 4th position. As Jaden Russell clips the fence, Skurlock does get that done.
James Robbie clipping the fence as well with that one, just putting a little bit less pressure on Nathan Clark up the front, but they are all going for it as there is only half a lap remaining right now. Just behind, Josh Micklemore getting spun around in the background, but Nathan Clark is going to come around for the final time here, getting the car around. He's got James Robbie right behind him at the moment with Jaden Russell as well. Going to come across the line and take the checkered flag for Nathan Clark.
And there was a huge accident in the background there as well, just with about half a lap to go. Matty Raymond, Christopher Finlay, Norm Clark got involved in an incident. And as you heard, Carl Call there, Josh Micklemore as well, getting involved. And Ed Foster got collected as well. So there was a little bit of bump and shove in that sprint to the end. But Nathan Clark, what a drive from him. He was fast all night, and he's definitely celebrating there down in the dirt.
Yeah, looking very happy out there at the moment. A lot of victory spins and celebrations going on. Great result for James Robbie as well, getting that 2nd place. As I said, watch out for him tonight. He is very quick on the dirt. Michael Skurlock. Jaden Russell in 3rd. Good result for Jaden Russell. Really strong finish here tonight with Michael Skurlock finishing in 4th. And in 5th place, Daniel Heddershield. Really good job from Daniel Heddershield. Absolutely showing a great pace in these first 2 truck races. 19 positions gained for himself. In 6th place is Jason Martin coming back from a lap down to get into the P6 position. Edward Foster finished in 7th with Hamish Cleland in 8th. 25 positions gained for Hamish Cleland. Biggest gainer of the night. Joshua Carroll-Walden managed to finish in 9th with 21 positions gained, as well as Ryan Wooden as well. 21 positions gained for both of those guys inside the top 10. Then we go down to our 11th place onwards. So 11th is Josh Micklemore with Mick Taylor in 12th. 13th, we have Christopher Finlay. 13th, we have Mick Taylor, with... wait, is that 12th? Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong screen. Yeah, 12th is Mick Taylor with Christopher Finlay in 13th. 14th is Dwayne Preece with Kay Donnelly 15th. 16th is Gary Wellman. Stephen Williams in 17th, with Dave Douglas ending up in 18th position. 19th, Mirko Dortnack. Brent Hobbs in 20th position. 21st, Norman Clark. Matty Raymond, 22nd. 23rd for Troy Davidson. Nigel Patton, 24th. 25th, Luke Treher. 26th, Aaron Dillon. 27th for Brody Masters. Todd Maxfield, 27th. 28th is Aaron Hatton. I think I just got ahead of myself. 29th for Aaron Hatton, sorry. Nathan Rollock in 30th position. 31st, we have Murray Howe with Aidan Schultz, 32nd. 33rd for Danny G. Jacob Burke out early on, unfortunately. Pole sitter, 34th. Justin Howe for 35th in the end. 36th for Ruben Phelps at the final of the finishers there tonight. So, absolute brilliant drive out front. What a battle we saw for the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. Good night of racing once again. We'll try and bring the three, Clark, Robbie and Russell, down into the booth. Just waiting on Jaden Russell to make his way around out of the car there. And we'll bring him in as well. So a really, really good night of racing once again for the ANZCAR Truck Series. Jason Martin doing a fantastic job. No surprises there to get from a lap down back up onto that lead lap and really bring it home, albeit not getting a podium there, just jumping into 6th. Might grab these guys in. We've got Nathan Clark and James Robbie there. We'll just wait for Jaden Russell. I'll grab him in as well. And over to you, Carl.
We'll start off, as we haven't got our third place finisher, we'll start off with our second place finisher, James Robbie. Great to have you back in the booth, Mr. Robbie. Good to see you, and congratulations on that P2 finish.
Yeah, cheers, Carl. Cheers, Stuart. No, it's good to be back. It's always fun talking to you guys, and especially when it's for a good reason, like making a podium. So, yeah, pretty happy.
I imagine so. We said you were going to be strong out there on the dirt. Often the case for yourself. You tend to be quite good on the old slippery stuff. It looked like a tough night and a lot of competition out there tonight.
Yeah. I think just a lot of fun on the dirt. I think it's always good fun. So this year's been pretty awesome so far with having the Cup Series at Bristol and here at Knoxville. It's certainly made things a little bit more interesting, but. I'm starting to regret trying to recruit teammates into this ANZCAR series because I've now lost to one. So it's good to have Nathan up there, and Jaden was up there fast, and Skirley put his nose in there a couple of times, and I saw Jason up there as well, which gave me a bit of a heck of a fright early on. So he's definitely improved on dirt from last season. So it's awesome.
It's a scary prospect, isn't it, Jason improving on things? Because Jason was a lap down at one stage and then managed to get back up there, which is usually a tale for Jason Martin, but he put out a good show. But honestly, it was a great performance out there for all three of you guys. Obviously, a lot of dirt experience up from all three of you.
Yeah. Jaden's always is bloody quick, anything dirt, and Nathan and myself seem to always be battling each other. As long as we stay out of trouble. So it's one of those things. There's that many good guys out there, and there's a lot of ANZCAR guys that are actually putting time into dirt now as well. So it's not just a couple of dirt guys out the front. I mean, you saw how many guys that were up the front at some stage during that race. It's good to see, and it's good for competition too.
It's absolutely what we love to see. A little bit of competition never hurts out on the front, of course. It makes things very interesting and does make things a little bit fun. So obviously, Pace Syndicate sort of come in with a few more ringers that I take it.
Yeah, I think I've spit it out. I've been trying to recruit a few more guys from the ANZCAR team from Pace Syndicate into the ANZCAR League, but normally we have pretty strong presence in road and dirt, but I've always committed to the ANZCAR Cup Series, and once the dirt stuff ran out on Monday nights and the couple of leagues dried up, tried to get a few more guys interested in this and tried to push for it. So I don't know how many more we'll get, but I think Nathan's a bit of a regular now in the trucks, which is awesome.
It's good to see. We've seen a good start for you this season in Series 2, of course. You got both were in the top 10, I think, last time round at Pocono, I think, from the top of my head. So a good start to the year for you both, absolutely. James, before I let you go, of course, the usual thing is shout out and love to sponsors.
Yeah, thanks to you guys for putting on the broadcast. It's always top quality to watch it back. Ed and all the admin team at ANZCAR is always well run, especially with running heats tonight, that everything went pretty smoothly. Just a thanks to Nathan and guys at Pace Syndicate, Worm Paints, Racewire Tasmania, North Brisbane Slots, and a big thanks to my personal sponsor, Rush Simracing out of Auckland.
Thank you so much. Look, hopefully get you back in the booth sooner rather than later. It's been a while since I last spoke to you, so hopefully get you back up here more regularly. Thank you so much, James.
Thank you.
Next up, we'll head to third place finisher Jaden Russell. Congratulations on that top 3 finish in your ANZCAR truck debut. Oh, yeah. Are you there? Sorry.
That was interesting.
Oh, sorry, Jaden. Just missed you though. Sorry.
What's
possible some technical issues there for Jaden. Hopefully we'll get you back very shortly. Yeah, dropping it in and out, unfortunately. We'll hopefully get you in for a quick chat before we finish off. But failing that, we'll head to the winner of the race. Taking out first ANZCAR victory from the top of my head, and especially first truck victory, Nathan Clark. Congratulations on taking it to P1.
Yeah, cheers, guys. That was a hard race. That car was not easy to get around the track. The setup was really, really understeer if you weren't in the throttle.
I was about to ask you this. How much practice have you had in the truck series and sort of the NASCAR side of things on the dirt racing?
That's the first time I've jumped in one. We had the hour practice session before. I've done a lot of dirt racing, obviously, with James. But first time in the truck on this track. It was, very tricky.
I can imagine it's a very different beast to drive. They're not the easiest things to get around on a short dirt track. Very different from what you're used to driving, but you've made it almost look easy out there.
I don't know. I hit the wall a fair few times. At the start, it was very hairy. There was a lot of cars that wanted the top spots. So I just decided to try and keep it clean and stick behind James there for a while and wait for the top line to wear out a bit. I think I jumped to the bottom at exactly the right time.
Yeah, I was about to ask you about that one because we saw you jump to the bottom line and catch James Robbie by surprise there and sort of always get the move done. And were you just waiting for that high line to just start giving out on you before you jumped down? Or was it sort of, obviously it was a bit of a planned sort of attack there?
Yeah, I knew the top would be fast at the start. But once the top starts to get really hard to run, you start hitting the wall a lot, and I didn't want to write the truck off, so I hit it a few times in a row and decided to go to the bottom and see what it was like, if it was okay or not, and it turned out it was exactly the right time.
Yeah, it was the exact right time for you. We also, you might not remember it because there was so much going on in the race. We saw you get pinched between two cars at one point. We thought that might be your night over. Quite a bit of damage to the other front of the truck. Did that affect you too much, or did you get away with that one scot-free?
I didn't notice it, to be honest. It probably did affect it a little bit, but it's one of those things at the start. Everyone wants to get in there and have a go, kind of get squished here and there, so... No, it was all good fun.
Congratulations on that one. Good start to the season for you in the trucks as well. As I was saying before, obviously, last time out at Pocono, you got P10, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah. So squeezed inside.
So that's a P10 finish and a win. So not a bad couple of races. I mean, it's hard enough to get a P10 in the trucks. let alone get a victory out of it as well in the sort of first couple of races and sort of few starts, things like that. So not a decent start for yourself. I imagine you must be pretty happy with that one.
Yeah, I was stoked to get inside the top 10. I'm extremely out of my depth on the pavement racing, especially the long tracks. The short tracks I can get up to speed with okay, but the long tracks are super hard for me.
Yeah, it's a very different beast. And, will we be seeing you next time out at Watkins Glen?
Yeah, I'm keen to do the rest of the season. Now that my normal Monday dirt racing has stopped, so I've jumped over onto these for something different and have a bit of a crack at something new.
Wonderful. So three very different races, of course. Pocono almost pretty much a super speedway. Knoxville, of course, dirt oval, and so we're going to Watkins Glen for a road circuit. So very different disciplines. How do you feel you're going to go next time out?
I love a challenge. I'm keen to have a crack at it.
What we love to hear. Thank you so much. And before I let you go, Nathan, of course, the usual shout out and love to sponsors.
Yeah, just the guys at Pace Syndicate. It's great to have them in the chat while we're racing and doing a lot of yellow laps. Racewire Tasmania, Worm Paints, and I think that's about it.
Congratulations on that win. Well deserved. Absolute brilliant show at the front as well. Congratulations to all of you, and we will see you again, hopefully, in the booth in the not too distant future.
Cheers, mate. Probably not me, though.
Don't sell yourself too short. Nathan Clark there, Pace Syndicate as well, getting a fantastic night here at Knoxville, Stuart. A very different track to race on. Obviously, dirt is never easy to run with, but those three absolutely gave us a brilliant show up the front.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a night full of event, which is what we would expect, but some good hard racing as well at the front, and a really good one for Nathan Clark to get away with there. Jumping in the rest of the season, as you heard there as well. So the truck series continues to get strengthened with some of our brothers from across the ditch jumping in, and looking forward to seeing that when we get back to the truck series next week. But of course, before we get there, we've still got a full calendar this week coming up on FGM eCast, where tomorrow night we head to Long Beach for the first of the last leg races for the AusPro-Am Sim Series. And we've got our split 20-40 minute race there tomorrow night. That's going to be a hot race given the fields that come there and who we're expecting to see. So don't miss out on that one before the Thunder returns on Wednesday night. I'll bring that one up on screen actually so you can see there. So the Thunder Series, new to ANZCAR, or a new old series. It's new for this year, and we head to COTA there. So we head to a road circuit, and that equally is the situation for the Cup when we are there on Thursday night as well. So we've got a COTA doubleheader coming up for you on Wednesday and Thursday night. So plenty of racing still to come on FGM eCast for the balance of the week. So make sure you give us a subscribe and turn on those notifications so you don't miss when we do go to air. And we look forward to having you all back. And then, of course, you can jump onto YouTube and watch a replay of the race. And if you are on YouTube watching a replay of the race, we'd love it if you'd hit subscribe.
Absolutely, every little helps out, and as we say, the algorithm always helps us out and makes us know that we're actually got people watching us and we're not just going mad talking to ourselves. But we appreciate all the people tonight. Thank you so much to the chat as well. Didn't get too much time to actually glance over and have a chat to you guys tonight, unfortunately, because it was just too fast and furious out there on the track. But a big thank you to all of those guys for joining us. It's always appreciated.
Absolutely, and that wraps up our show for this evening. So we're back tomorrow night, I should say. We're not back tonight. We're back tomorrow night from 7:45 on FGM eCast. As always, Carl, thanks for the call tonight. I absolutely love calling dirt races. I really enjoyed when we did it with NZSR, which obviously a couple of the boys have jumped across from there for tonight, and forgot how entertaining it is to watch heat racing and dirt racing in total. So thanks very much for jumping on the stream as always tonight, and we will see you tomorrow night. And Carl's just disappeared there. So from the rest of us, it's all over for tonight. We will see you tomorrow night on FGM eCast, your E-Place for Pace. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you then.